Morning, everybody. It's March 16, just after 10 o'clock in the morning. Last night was a crazy night. It did rain, but what was really scary was the wind. Supposedly, we were having gusts of over 60 miles an hour, or around 60 miles an hour. So it was pretty reminding of Helene type weather. So we were awake for a while. Hoping a tree or something doesn't fall on our house or cars. That's why we cannot wait to get out here, because we have nothing that can fall on the houses. We kept that all away so you feel safe out here. Anyway, so I'm getting out a little bit later because Valentina left later to work. She didn't want to drive in that wind in the dark, and we didn't know if there'd be trees or limbs down in the roadways and things like that. So I'm going to go ahead and clean up this area as the plan, and then I'll probably seal some wood that will start going down that hallway for the flooring, and we'll get back there and get done what we can. All right. I know I haven't really been showing much to you guys. I've just been kind of narrating and stuff, but most of the stuff you guys have seen me do already. But I just like to film a little bit just to show the updates. That's about it. All right, moving on. All right, guys, like I said, it was raining and very windy yesterday. It was less windy down here than up where I live, but it was still supposed to be like 30, 40 mile an hour gusts here. Got a little problem. I got water that came in on both sides of the door. Not quite sure what to do about it. I can see, I don't know why the water's going to the edges. And the door is sticking at this end, so like it's really tight. So I don't know how water's getting through. I'm gonna have to figure something out. I don't know what. I don't want that leaking in on my floor. So one thing I discovered is this thing it's not sealed to the door. And so if rain were to come in and hit this, it can go between this gasket and the door. I'll put a little pressure on here, squeeze up. This stuff is white right now, but it becomes clear and paintable. What I'm saying is, I think, maybe, I don't know if this is, what I'm saying is, and I don't know if this is what happened or not, but right here, like if the water hits here, it was going down there and draining out onto the floor right there. Other than that, I don't know what else I could possibly do. I can fill in a little bit more caulking in here, but the water's gonna hit here. You know, this gasket basically comes out to here. So, you know, it comes up against this. So from here out, I don't know how this is wet, and I don't know how, because this drags on it. So it shouldn't be getting water in there. So all I can think is put maybe some caulking here, put a bead here where this butts up against, to try to keep it from coming in. But that's the only, I felt like I did such a tremendous job of caulking and keeping this all dry, and I haven't seen water leak in here for a long time. So this could very well have been the problem, where it hits here, goes down inside here, and drains out the ends, because it didn't get wet along here. It only came out on the ends. So I'm going to do a little bit more caulking along here and just really try to seal it up. This stuff's supposed to be flexible and last 40 years or something. I don't know. So we'll clean this up and try to do that to really shore it up. And we are getting rain in another week, and we're coming on spring and summer, which we get a lot of rain. So I'll know soon enough if this is what it was or not. All right, so I'm putting caulking here between this weather strip and the wood, because this thing goes right somewhere around here. So I want it to be able to, if it does hit in here, I want it to repel out back that way. And then what I did too is I put some caulking here between the floor and this threshold, because if the water does get in, I would rather it come further out onto the floor so I can see it versus trickling down in here between the floor and the door jamb here, and over time starting to rot it and I not even know what's going on. So that's the plan. I filled in the ends a little bit again just in case that if water were to hit here, it can repel back out. Hopefully this works, you know. It's got to be something very tiny since it's just a little bit of water at both ends. Okay, I've left this door cracked open a little bit so that caulking can dry and then also not stick to the, like, make the door stick together. And then I started my little station over here. I'm not very happy with it. Maybe it'll evolve. I'm sealing the underside steel of the flooring. Even though it's going in our room and it's not going to be exposed to kitchen stuff and all that stuff. We live in North Carolina. It's muggy, it's humid, it rains a lot. Back there near the shower, or the bathtub, and washer and dryer, so humidity is going to come out of that sometimes, whatever. So I've done the whole house sealed on the bottom side, so I'm going to keep on doing it. The problem is I really like to doing it on the sawhorses that I have in the back, but now my saw is on there. That was a really good method that I had set up. Now I realize that. I was able to bust out a lot, and pile it up somewhere. Now I only have just a little section here. I have only a few pieces of wood over here that are sealed that I can keep going on, but I'm just going to probably do a couple at a time and let this dry. I sanded the bottom parts of it. That's one thing I'm going to do a little different. As I was sanding the whole thing before, and now the floors are looking like this because I just can't keep people off of the floor. I have electrical contractors and plumbers and stuff, and they go in and out, in and out, in and out, and they track mud. And even if they make the attempt to stay on cardboard, which some do and some don't, it piles up on the cardboard and it just keeps getting pushed out on the floor. So I think we were wishing for people to do a better job, but maybe it's not possible. Maybe it's not a request that can be fulfilled. But anyway, so I'm not going to sand the top of it. We'll sand it when it all goes down on the floor. So, because, what's the point? And I won't seal the top of it because I was sanding everything and sealing one side. Now I'm just going to sand the bottom and the sides, the ends, seal it, and then throw it down. All right. Keep on going here. Guys, I'm like a dumb dog that gets distracted by a squirrel. Every time, it seems like lately, I get real distracted real easy. I'll start out one project and then go a different direction almost immediately. But what happened was, to my credit, I still got something done. But I came back here because I got to start doing the floor into the bedroom. And basically, this is going to have to continue in order for me to do this. So I got to work my way that way for now. So all this stuff's in the way. Well, I saw all these small boards back here. And I'm like, the only place I'm going to be using those is along that wall and maybe along that wall. But I can always rip stuff too. It was the right size to go ahead and do another project, which was finish this out around the window. I don't know if you guys remember, this window was not done because the washer and dryer were here. And I didn't know where to cut stuff and all that stuff. So all I had was that inside piece up there on top. I know someday we're going to have to pull this out. It is what it is. And something will happen and we'll have to pull it out. So it's going to be a terrible day when that happens, but Valentina did tell me she wants this in here. So I put the trim in, and if I have to pull this out someday, this is okay and clear here, but I'm going to have to rip this piece out and rip this piece off. So it'll be terrible because whatever thing this was needing is going to cause this to also be a problem. So, also, I just now thought about it. It's weird. This washer, it's the correct way for the door to go. I like that. But this one is set up this way for some reason for the dryer. So I need to see if I can take this off and switch it over to this side and put this over here. I guess once I take this off, I'll know if this setup is over here too, because I need it to all open this way. All right, I keep sidetracking myself, but anyway, I've gotten 4 boards now sealed on the bottom, and I just did 2 more. So basically, while I'm doing stuff back here, I'm going back and forth. When I see they're dry, I do a couple more. So I think I showed you that I got sidetracked on doing the frame, but then I was here too, and I said, oh yeah, I need to reverse the door on the dryer, so we did that. It's pretty simple, guys, if you ever want to. At least on Samsung, it was basically this stuff was over here and this stuff was over there. So you take these 2 screws out from over there, you take this off from over there, and you take this stuff off, then put that over here, and then put that over there. So wasn't too bad. My only little struggle was because this door can actually open further. Now that I put this trim on it, I ate myself up a 3/4 of an inch or half an inch or whatever. So I couldn't open this any further. So it was kind of hard to get these in, but not bad. All right, now we're set. Now I can access these doors both from the same angle. One of these days I'm going to get to doing this over here, but there's just so much stuff and I don't know where to put it right now. And so when my floor comes up, I got to have a place for this stuff to all go without making a huge mess out there in the living room. Part of what's distracting me today is I'm moving this stuff. I think I've already said this, but I'm moving stuff out, and then I find things that can be done. And I found these light bulbs. It's like, well, I keep moving them around. They might get broken or something, so better to go ahead and put them in. But what a struggle this is. This light bulb, the only way to get it in is to bend this and hopefully drop it in like this through the top. It won't come through here. I don't know if the electricians knew that or not, but it'd have been nice to put these bulbs in when this thing was off, I guess. I wouldn't have known that either. But anyway, I got 1, 2, 3 more to go. I've got that one in. It's really hard to screw them in. But I think I'll drop off the other 3 in, then I'll go ahead and screw them all in while they're in there. All right, guys, I've been interrupted a few times, and that's fine. Just people have come along, so I'm not getting done very fast. So I think I'm actually going to stop for today. So this got done, and I'm going to go and look at Nicole and Bryn's new to them travel trailer and check that out. And I'll probably be back out here tomorrow and keep plugging away at that floor. So I'll see you guys the next time I'm out here.